Yo, hold up. I just got off the phone, and the news coming out right now about Gervonta Tank Davis is absolutely insane. I'm talking career-ending, legacy-destroying, this could change everything type of news. Tank just responded to the prison sentence he's potentially facing, and what he said has the entire boxing world in complete shock right now. I got the footage, I got the statements, I got everything you need to know, and trust me when I tell you this is way more serious than anybody thought. The timeline on this is crazy, the charges are wild, and what Tank just said might be the biggest mistake of his life. Let's get into it right now. Alright, so before we dive into Tank's reaction, let me catch everybody up real quick because this situation has been moving fast. For those who don't know, Gervonta Davis, one of the biggest names in boxing right now, undefeated champion, 30 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 28 knockouts. This man is a superstar. But about 2 weeks ago, Miami Gardens police put out a warrant for his arrest. We're not talking about some minor charge either. Tank was wanted on 3 serious charges: battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. Yeah, you heard that right. Attempted kidnapping. Now, the incident allegedly happened back in October 2025 at a gentleman's club in Miami Gardens, where Tank apparently got into it with his ex-girlfriend. According to the reports, and I'm just telling you what's been said, Tank allegedly grabbed this woman by her hair and throat, tried to force her down a stairway into a parking garage. She managed to break free and ran back to her co-workers for safety. 2 days later, she filed a police report, and here's the kicker. The detective on the case reviewed surveillance footage that apparently backs up major parts of her story. That's what made this case so serious. So Tank had a warrant out for 2 whole weeks. 2 weeks. U.S. Marshals were looking for him. Miami Gardens police had a whole task force on this, and people were going crazy online trying to figure out where he was. You had content creators talking about it every single day. You had people offering rewards for information. It was getting wild out there. Some folks were saying Tank left the country. Some were saying he was hiding out. Nobody really knew what was going on. Then just yesterday, Wednesday, January 28th, boom, Tank gets arrested. They caught him in Miami's Design District as he was leaving a retail store. No drama, no chase. They just rolled up on him and took him into custody. Now, when that news broke, the internet went absolutely insane. Everybody had something to say. His fans were shocked. His haters were celebrating, and everybody wanted to know what happens next. Here's where it gets even more intense. Tank's bond was set at $16,000, which honestly, for someone at his level, that's nothing. He could pay that cash right now without even thinking about it. But the real question everybody was asking is what kind of sentence is he looking at if he gets convicted on these charges? And let me tell you, the potential consequences are no joke. We're talking about felony charges here. Attempted kidnapping alone. That's serious time if convicted. Legal experts have been breaking this down all over social media, and the consensus is that Tank could be facing anywhere from several years to potentially a decade or more behind bars if everything goes wrong for him. And remember, this man is already on probation from that hit-and-run case back in 2023, where he got 3 years probation and 90 days house arrest. So if he violates that probation with these new charges, he could be stacking time on top of time. Think about what that means for his career. Tank is 31 years old. He's in his absolute prime right now. If he goes away for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it ends up being, his boxing career is done. Finished. You can't just come back from that at 36, 38 years old and compete at the highest level. The sport moves too fast. There's already young lions coming up trying to take his spot. And this isn't even Tank's first run-in with the law when it comes to domestic situations. He got arrested in 2022. Charges got dropped. Arrested again in 2022 on domestic violence charges in Broward County. Now this is the 3rd time, and it's the most serious by far because they got video evidence. That's what everybody keeps talking about, the footage. If that video shows what the police say it shows, Tank's legal team has a mountain to climb. So now let's get to what you clicked on this video for, Tank's reaction. Because up until now, Tank had been completely silent. Radio silence. Wouldn't talk to the media, wasn't posting on social media, nothing. Everybody was wondering what he was thinking, how he was processing all this, whether he was scared, whether he was confident, what was going through his mind. Well, just hours after getting released on bond, Tank finally broke his silence, and I gotta tell you, his response was not what people expected. Instead of coming out apologetic or worried or trying to do damage control, Tank came out swinging. He posted on his Instagram story, and the energy was defiant. He basically said that he's not worried about any of this, that the truth is going to come out, and that people are trying to tear him down because of who he is and what he represents. Tank wrote, and I'm paraphrasing here because the post has already been taken down, but he said something along the lines of, "They've been trying to stop me since day one. They can't beat me in the ring, so they trying to beat me in the court. But I ain't going nowhere. The real ones know what's up, and the truth always comes to light." He ended it with, "Stay tuned," and a couple of those prayer hand emojis. Now, when I saw that, my first reaction was like, wow, this man is really standing on business right now. He's not backing down at all. But then I started thinking about it more, and I'm like, is this the right move strategically? Because when you got serious legal charges like this, usually your lawyer tells you to be quiet, to not say anything that could be used against you later. But Tank is out here basically saying he's innocent and that there's another side to the story. Here's the thing though, and this is where it gets complicated. We live in a world now where public opinion matters almost as much as what happens in the courtroom. Tank knows that his reputation is on the line. His sponsors are watching, his fans are watching, the boxing world is watching. If he just stays silent, people fill in the blanks themselves, and usually not in a good way. So by coming out and making a statement, he's trying to control the narrative a little bit. But let's be real, this is a dangerous game, because whatever Tank says publicly can be brought up in court. If he tells one story now, and then the evidence shows something different, that's a problem. And we already know the police say they have video footage. That's not speculation, that's documented in the police report. So Tank is basically betting that either the video doesn't show what they say it shows, or that his version of events is going to make sense when people see the full context. His supporters online are already rallying around him. You got people saying he's being set up, that this is a money grab, that the woman is lying for a payout. On the flip side, you got people saying Tank has a pattern of behavior. This is the third domestic incident, and where there's smoke, there's fire. The internet is completely divided on this, and it's getting ugly in the comment sections everywhere. Now let's talk about what this means for Tank's boxing career, because that's a whole separate conversation. That fight with Jake Paul that was supposed to happen in November, that's dead in the water now. And honestly, even if Tank beats this case, who knows if that fight ever gets rescheduled because Jake Paul is already moving on to other opportunities. He's not going to wait around for Tank to sort out his legal problems. The WBA already designated Tank as champion in recess, which is basically boxing politics talk for, we're putting your title on hold until you figure your life out. If he gets convicted and goes to prison, they'll strip that title completely and give it to someone else. All that work, all those years grinding to become a world champion, could be gone just like that. And think about the money Tank is losing right now. Every day he's dealing with legal issues instead of fighting is a day he's not making millions. Boxing at the highest level, these guys make serious money. Tank could be pulling in $20, $30, $40 million per fight if he's active and the big matches are happening. But none of that can happen while he's fighting a criminal case. This situation really makes you think about the bigger picture too. Tank came from nothing, came up in Baltimore, had a rough childhood. Boxing saved his life. Floyd Mayweather saw something in him and helped develop his career. Tank became one of the most exciting fighters in the sport, somebody that casual fans and hardcore fans both wanted to watch. He had everything in front of him.
But here's the reality, and this is something we see over and over in sports. Having talent is not enough. You got to make good decisions outside the ring too. You got to surround yourself with the right people. You got to stay out of situations that can derail everything you worked for. And based on Tank's legal history, it seems like that's been a struggle for him. Some people are saying Tank needs better people around him, people who will check him when he's about to make a bad decision. Others are saying, at 31 years old, you got to take personal responsibility. Nobody can babysit you forever. Both things can be true at the same time. So, where do we go from here?
Tank's next court date is coming up, and that's when we're going to get more information about the case, about the evidence, about what the prosecution has, and what his defense is going to be. His legal team is going to fight this hard because they know what's at stake. This is not just about avoiding jail time. This is about saving his entire career and legacy. For now, all we can do is wait and see how this plays out. Tank says he's innocent and that the truth will come out. The police say they have video evidence that supports the victim's story. Somebody's telling the truth and somebody's not, and eventually we're going to find out which is which. What do you guys think about all this? Drop your comments down below. Let me know if you think Tank is going to beat this case or if he's in serious trouble. I'm going to be covering every single update as this story develops, because this is one of the biggest stories in boxing right now. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.